weather. It governs our world, bringing life, death, and destruction.
God damn it, go back.
We're fine.
Oh my God! It's drowning!
Wow. World's deadliest weather is back. Bigger and badder. This time we include deadly natural disasters.
One of the most terrifying moments of my life.
Featuring earth-shattering quakes.
Yo ahí vi pasar toda mi vida, pero yo pensé que ya no la iba a lograr.
I saw an entire building collapse.
It was like something out of a movie.
And volcanoes.
It looks like all of my wildest dreams.
Using people's extraordinary self-shot footage.
We're gonna die, dude! We gotta get out of here! Mason, get away from the windows now!
And their death-defying stories.
I remember instantly thinking, I just watched her die.
I had to turn on my inner stunt driver and just get out of there quick.
I thought I was gonna burn alive.
We go eyeball to eyeball with Mother Nature.
It's crazy! It's crazy! Come on!
And witness up close
Get on there!
the all-consuming power of the elements.
The mountain was coming to get us.
Flash flood's right there! This place is just hell.
It was just horrific.
I had never in my life experienced anything like that.
Everybody take cover! Now!
Coming up in this episode.
Oh my God.
A record-breaking twister rips the heart out of an American city.
Oh my God, look at that damage.
I just got scared. Just kind of started crying. I just couldn't believe I didn't know where I was.
A freak South African storm causes super tanker carnage.
Get underneath! Get underneath! You're gonna hit the cranium!
And flash floods plunge a daredevil down a 30-foot Hawaiian waterfall.
The force of the water is pushing me down to the bottom. Your body just switches into a survival mode.
April 27th, 2011, Tuscaloosa in Alabama, USA.
We are under the greatest risk possible for strong to violent tornadoes. Tuscaloosa, we're in the bullseye.
It's tornado season, and this city was reverberating to the wail of sirens, putting college student Ryan Chandler on red alert.
The weather was supposed to be getting bad. They had been warning about it for the days leading up until the 27th. I knew that there was a storm coming. The police were driving around with their loudspeakers and their sirens going, telling everyone to get inside. They really amped up the warning system.
Keep straight, keep straight. Yes, keep straight.
Rather than heed these warnings, Ryan went storm chasing with his college buddy Nate Hewitt.
We can come up behind it later.
Neither had ever seen a tornado before.
I've always wanted to see one, so literally just a bucket list. Focus was finding a tornado. Up until the point we actually saw it, I was still skeptical in the back of my mind. So my expectations were very low.
There it is. Yes, that it is.
All of the shock of seeing it was mind-blowing.
That thing is massive. Holy mama.
In front of them was a gigantic EF4 tornado.
Jesus.
The second highest rated twister on the Fujita scale.
Oh my God.
Spawned by what meteorologists call rare perfect storm conditions.
If we weren't just being a couple of dumb college kids, we probably wouldn't have been in the position that we were in.
It's crossing the interstate right where we were.
Having gawped at this awesome spectacle, it dawned on the guys they might be in the line of fire.
It's not going left or right, it's only getting bigger. And it hit me that it's coming right at us.
Oh my God.
You could see the swirl. Something that big, twisting like that is just unreal.
God damn it.
It was just this unbelievably huge force.
Chandler, do not go back that way. Nate, film it.
It was just something out of a movie. It was apocalyptic. It was incomprehensible.
We need to go that way. No, Chandler, God damn it, go back.
We're fine.
I'm not kidding. We don't know if this thing can change directions. We're not experts.
At 1.5 miles wide and with winds of 190 miles per hour, this monster twister was chewing up everything in its path.
And after we backed up, you could see the storm.
You can see debris in the air.
And as you continue to stare at it, you realize that those aren't little pieces of wood. Those are 2x4s from people's homes. Those are roofs. Those are trees.
Oh my God.
But the reality of it was people's lives that were being swirled around.
That thing is destroying everything.
There are dozens of houses, dozens of friends' properties, dozens of memories being wiped off the map with this storm.
Never in my life will I see this again.
Oh my God.
We didn't realize that we were kind of capturing history almost.
3 miles away, close to the center of Tuscaloosa, lifelong resident Brad Lawrence and mate Josh were on tenterhooks.
Oh my God, dude. We heard about the tornado, and as I saw it coming towards us, I was watching a tree off out in the distance. As soon as that tree disappeared, I knew the tornado was coming our way.
Might want to go down to the basement, you think?
Finally disappeared. I was like, yeah, now it's time to go downstairs. It was just like this wall of like white and gray coming directly at us. It was just this monster. It was unfathomable. It was unstoppable. The whole ground began to shake, like this, just this rumbling, like a train coming directly at us. It seemed to be coming from everywhere. So our ears began to pop. We were so close to the center of it, and there was so much force outside, it was pulling the air out of the house.
Oh, dude. This is nuts, man.
It was like an explosion. It was like somebody unleashed Godzilla on your town. You just really hoped you got through the next 7 seconds of your life.
Later, we'll see what happens as Brad's house takes a direct hit.
Oh, it's right there.
And as the mega tornado decimates Tuscaloosa, the casualties overwhelm the city's hospital.
There was multiple casualties, multiple injuries, and total destruction.
As we've seen, tornadoes are among the most violent storms on Earth, with the ability to destroy anything in their path. No two tornadoes are the same. So, on World's Deadliest Weather, we bring you some of the strangest, most twisted twisters. Sinabung volcano in Indonesia is spewing a pyroclastic flow. Even more rare are the tornadoes following in its wake. These incredible whirlwinds of gas and fire can swirl up to 1 mile high. Scientists believe they follow the tornado principles of hot and cold air colliding, forming a funnel. Water spouts, as their names suggest, are tornadoes that form over water. There are two types, fair weather and tornadic. The latter shares the same destructive force as its land-based cousin, able to whip up humans, animals, and even small boats. When a large water spout makes landfall, as in this one in Green Turtle Cay in the Bahamas, it is destructive and frightening. It's certainly got these guys' knickers in a twist.
Forget it! Back right here!
Another rare tornado can be spawned by wildfires. They occur when intense heat and turbulent wind combine to form whirling eddies of air. These tighten into a tornado-like structure that sucks in burning debris and combustible gases. It gives a deadly twist to the phrase, towering inferno. Finally, at a distance, this looks more like your classic twister on a hot, humid day in Russia. But on closer inspection, it's in fact a column of swarming mosquitoes. Nobody understands why they do this, but it generally happens after a huge mozzie hatch-off. This may not be a deadly tornado, but it's one that will bite back. "10th of October 2017. The port of Durban in South Africa was being lashed by a sudden, violent storm.
Oh, this whole thing is collapsed here.
Witnessing his home city being ripped apart was media officer Andreas Mathios.
The city was under emergency lockdown, and the wind was battering this building, and it was blowing these massive glass panels from the top of the building into the road below. This horizontal volume of water was lashing the city. It was just crazy, absolutely crazy.
While it was crazy in the city center, down at the port, pandemonium had broken loose. 100-mile-per-hour gusts had snapped the mooring lines of 4 ships, leaving them drifting dangerously out of control.
Yeah, that's crazy.
On board the 1,000-foot Inez, one of the world's biggest container vessels, head of security, Warren Gillett, was in full crisis mode.
Could have surfed the waves, that's how big they were. The wind itself was tremendous. It was like a typhoon, basically. I've never felt anything like that before. The vessel I was on, the Inez, its forward mooring lines were the first to go. And the wind then swung the vessel almost 180 degrees around. Our aft mooring lines then snapped. It then drove us across the port itself. There was a French naval vessel there. We almost actually took their helicopter out, so that was pretty scary in itself. It was just, it was pandemonium.
Having narrowly avoided the French vessel, the Inez then went on a collision course with a Chinese container ship stuck on a sandbank.
The Chinese vessel, it's got 3 onboard cranes of its own. So when the vessel impacted with us, the cranes impacted our superstructure as well as our containers on deck.
Get underneath. You're gonna hit the crane here.
You're unsure on what the outcome is going to be once the actual vessels collide. Although we weren't going that fast, it's not just a bang, it's a continuous push, shove, scraping and breaking and things falling. So I shouted at everyone to get indoors. A lot of them were frightened, were afraid of what was going to happen next. Definitely it was kicking off big time.
As the ships were playing a terrifying naval version of dodgem cars, the Inez finally managed to fire up her engines.
To get the engine started on a vessel of the size of, say, the Inez, you're looking at anything from 15 to 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. You can't just put into high gear and get the hell out of Dodge, unfortunately. We put them into reverse to obviously pull us away from all the other vessels, and that's when we reversed into the coal terminal, which is at the entrance of the harbor itself. Basically ran aground there, blocking up the harbor mouth. And that's where they lost the rudder.
By this time, media man Andreas had made his way quayside to film the disaster.
We've got a ship that is basically got stuck. The wind conditions are absolutely treacherous. So when I came across this massive ship, standing transverse in the harbour mouth, and as I looked up, I saw, hang on a second, what is this? There's this massive hole in the back of the ship, and it looked fresh. And I could actually see into the insides of the ship. And the tugboats, they were going left and right and jostling for position and shoving and pulling. A ship of this magnitude was at the mercy of the waves and the wind.
We were wedged in the harbour mouth and we couldn't go anywhere. So we just had to sit and wait until the wind started dying down.
The storm of 2017 entered Durban folklore. 14 people died and hundreds were left homeless. Damages ran up to $40 million. As for the stricken Inez, eventually she was freed from the harbour mouth and has since undergone extensive repairs.
The captain himself, he was rattled, really rattled. I don't think he had experienced anything like that himself. I don't think anyone on any of the vessels had experienced that kind of pandemonium. When Mother Nature strikes, I mean, you had her mercy. I definitely hope it's a once in a lifetime event.
When Mother Nature vents her fury with powerful winds, she often turns our man-made objects into deadly missiles. Hurricane winds are sweeping through southeast Ukraine. This woman runs the gauntlet in her parking bay. And gets a shattering blow from this flying window. You could say it's frame, set and match to Mother Nature. Staying in Russia, or should that be Ukraine? In the disputed Crimea region, strong gales whip off the Black Sea. Although this looks like a perfect weather day, wind can be an invisible assassin. Out of the sky blue, timber. Luckily for these motorists, these desiccated silver birch shatter on impact. But they still make a mess of the car's front grille. In Krasnodar, these pedestrians look safe enough in this spacious boulevard. But the trees swaying in the background give a clue to the strength of the gale. Incredibly, these people survive the closest of shaves, as this roof miraculously misses them. In the United States, this dog owner's lightning reflexes save him from one of Mother Nature's deadly projectiles. Weakened tree branches blown down in the wind are known as deadfall, for good reason. As this log spears down, it misses his head by inches. Now the dog will have to wait for its walk, as his owner probably needs a lie down in a nice dark room. When we are in our modern cars, it's easy to feel a sense of security, with crumple zones, airbags, and a whole host of other safety features. But our car designers hadn't reckoned with a wily Mother Nature and her attacks on high. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt, as this is a fine example of advertising really connecting. Still to come. A skier gets swallowed up by a lethal crevasse in the Swiss Alps.
Bounced off these ledges. Pretty much thought the worst.
And raging Hawaiian flash floods threaten to drown a group of friends.
I look around to find everyone else is scrambling. Everyone's in a panic.
Oh my God, dude.
As we saw earlier, back in 2011, the city of Tuscaloosa in Alabama was literally being blown to smithereens.
Yes, that it is.
By one of America's biggest and most powerful tornadoes.
Go to the back, I'm not kidding.
As it bore its devastating path towards the center of town, resident Brad Lawrence and friend Josh had seconds to save their lives.
We're gonna have to get out of here, dude. This house could collapse, dude. Dude, there's no way to get. Where are we gonna go?
I always had a plan in case of a tornado. I was gonna take all the couch cushions off of the couch and throw them down into the stairwell we had. We were gonna get underneath them, and hopefully that was gonna shield us from all the glass.
This is nuts, man.
Yeah, let's get downstairs.
Trees were flying around and hitting the house, glass was breaking out, chunks of the house were being ripped off. It seemed like an eternity, but it really only lasted 7 seconds or so. We just really didn't have any time to freak out.
Oh my God, look at all these trees. Dude, our porch is gone.
Brad and Josh miraculously escaped with only a few bruises and minor cuts, but his house fared less well.
When we finally came back upstairs, the first thing I saw was my broken kitchen window and the porch no longer attached to the house.
Dude, there's a hole in the roof. There are holes in the roof.
There were just trees. There were just so many trees. There were trees lying everywhere.
As Brad's house was protected in a hollow, it escaped catastrophic damage. But when he reached higher ground, the scene defied belief.
It was just flat. Everything was gone. All of the houses were gone. All that was left was foundations, and some of those foundations were turned up sideways. It was like some movie set. It was surreal. It was just utter devastation. I got lost. I got lost in my hometown. I couldn't find any landmarks to help me figure out where I was at. I just got scared. I just had to pull over, and I just kind of started crying. I just couldn't believe I didn't know where I was.
Moments after the twister swiped Brad, it made a beeline for the city hospital. Nurse Sharon Oakley was on duty in the emergency room.
We were taking care of a 2-year-old on a ventilator. Our director opened the door and said, "Prepare yourselves. Get ready. There's a huge tornado headed toward us. It's less than a mile away. So just get ready." You could see the darkness, and then you could see the debris everywhere. It was probably the most frightened that either one of us had ever been in our life, because we didn't know if this was going to be the end. We laid over this little girl and protected her, because that's what we do. We just held on until the tornado passed. It was eerily, strangely quiet for the few minutes right after. Dr. Crawford kind of called all the staff together and said a huge tornado has destroyed a big part of Tuscaloosa. We will be having multiple casualties, we'll be having many fatalities. And he just said, get ready, because it's gonna be a long night.
Oh my God, look at that damage.
Novice storm chasers Nate Hewitt and Ryan Chandler had been one of the first people to see the tornado. Now they were witnessing its savage brutality.
Where are you planning on going right now? Look at that. Oh my God, look at that damage.
It was really surreal. It was just something out of a movie. It was apocalyptic. It was just incomprehensible.
Look at this. Oh my God.
How quickly everything went from normal to a disaster. So we just kind of stop. That's when the lady jumps in the car.
Come on. Get in. Come on.
Oh my God, my dog.
You okay? Hey, are people okay?
And she's understandably distraught, and she's screaming for her dog. Dog died.
Oh my God, my dog dead. Oh my God.
And that's when Ryan kind of points out, hey, there's a ton of people that need our help. And we just leave her in the car and try to go help some people.
The deadly twister had spared nothing and no one. Over at the hospital, Sharon was being swamped by the sheer volume of casualties.
You had people bringing in casualties on headboards, on doors. You know, these people were severely injured. They were mangled, extremities were broken, and had impaled objects. I remember just sitting there thinking, you know, that's someone's best friend, that's someone's child there. You know, it pulls at your heartstrings. You do what you do at that time, and you get it managed, and then you fall apart later, you know. If I think of a war zone, that's the closest I've ever gotten to one.
The 27th of April 2011 will forever be burned into Tuscaloosa's psyche. There were 65 fatalities and over 1,000 injuries. It ripped the heart out of the city, but not its soul.
Immediately after, and then the days and weeks and even months following, didn't matter what color you were, what you believed in, where you came from, or how much money you had. Everybody helped out everybody, and it wasn't even a question. And that was what made me the most proud of Tuscaloosa itself, but Alabama as a whole, because support came in from everywhere.
As for Nate's buddy Ryan, the whole harrowing experience and helping the town get back on its feet proved life-changing.
My aunt actually suggested, she was like, you know, why don't you become a firefighter? I knew that that was my calling. I think the tornado showed me that being there for people and helping your community and wanting to have a way to give back was what I was really supposed to do with my life.
The idyllic island of Maui in Hawaii, a place where vacationers soak up the sun and escape the cares of the world. Back in August 2015, diving instructor Sean Steininger took some friends on an adventure to a stunning 30-foot waterfall. But it was one that had a horrific twist in its tail.
The day started sunny, bright, no problems. Me and my friends were in a camper. They were there on vacation, gonna have a nice, fun day. Along the way, we stopped as we were walking up towards the hike, towards the stream. A little bit of sprinkle, not much you would have thought of. It wasn't a huge downpour or anything, maybe 20 minutes, and then that stopped. So we get to the waterfall, everyone gets in their swim trunks. Me and my friend AJ, we climb up. Then I want to go up higher where I know there's a jump. You can go over the side of the waterfall. My friends have their cameras, their drone out, so I decide to wade out into the middle of the waterfall there.
Unbeknownst to Sean, the earlier rain shower had set off a deadly chain reaction. A network of streams were funneling water into the main river, creating a deadly flash flood.
I'm just kind of acting like a general doofus up there for the camera. I start to wade back across. The water was knee high. I think that's a little bit strange, but no big deal. I keep holding on to the rocks, working my way over slowly. The water is pushing harder and it's coming higher, but it's just getting faster, faster, rising higher and higher. More water is pushing on me. It's almost to my neck at this point. It keeps coming up. It goes into my face and it's pushing so hard, I know I'm going over. Directly below me is a big step of water, big chunks of boulders, basically. Black, brown water throws me over the edge. I hit my ankle on one rock. I'm starting to twirl in the air. Then I hit the deep water below. The force of the water is pushing me down to the bottom. It's just twirling me like I'm in a washing machine almost. It's almost like your body just switches into a survival mode. You're gonna need to swim. You're gonna need to get your head above water. It was almost just real basic tunnel vision. Then it just kind of spits me out of the side. I'm on the surface, just amazed at everything that just happened.
Sean's training and calm head as a dive instructor had played a crucial part in his survival. But immediately he and his friends were plunged into an even greater catastrophe. The raging floodwaters threatened to wash them over another, bigger, 100-foot waterfall.
I look around to find everyone else is scrambling. Everyone's in a panic. That's when I started to realize this is a much bigger problem than me just flying off the top. So we're basically trapped in this bowl, in this valley. The way we crossed over to get to the waterfall is now closed off because of the sheer amount of water pumping down. I'm still full adrenaline surge. A guy and his wife who had followed us up, she basically became deer in the headlights when she was trying to get back over the stream. He had to push her onto the other side, and that pushed him into the water, and he went down so fast he had almost got swept off the bigger waterfall.
Eventually, Sean and his friends just managed to scramble to safety and alert helicopter rescue to evacuate them from the remote spot. But having only just scraped through alive, it proved a sobering lesson.
Kind of complete relief that this intense, crazy thing is over. There's a lot to take in a very short amount of time. Honestly, I just had to laugh. It was just such a ridiculous thing that had just happened. We're all safe, alive. Maybe I got a busted foot, but that seems to have been the worst of it. The first thing I did when we all got back in the van was apologize. Said, sorry I nearly killed you, everyone. Hope to make it up to you.
While we spend millions and millions getting the most accurate, up-to-date forecast to warn against deadly weather, the poor old animals are largely left to fend for themselves. In the flooded woods of Victoria, Australia,
Little buddy.
a fluffy koala is left stuck up a gum tree. Luckily, besotted students come to its rescue. It shows it pays to be cute to get a free pass in the animal kingdom.
Come on, little guy, out you get.
On terra firma, the koala trots off without a thank you. Now that's what I call barefaced cheek. Staying in Australia, this python is seeking shade from roasting temperatures.
Had a couple of carpet pythons here, one smaller than this, so they've probably been mating. The female seems to have taken off, but the male's still sitting here. So I'm just going to see what mood he's going to be in.
These carpet pythons can get cross if their siesta is disturbed, so best it's handled with care.
Beautiful. There we are. Now Durian's the place. Oh look, he wants to go into the bag. Look at that. I mean, that is textbook.
That's one impressive way to charm a snake.
Didn't even have to do it. Well, I'll take him over to the biosphere now, but there you are.
If only all of life was that easy, eh?
It's not just pythons that are able to rescue themselves. In Brazil, this man decides to save one of this moggie's 9 lives. But it's all in vain. Goes to prove you can never herd cats. Cyclone Debbie is battering Queensland in Australia. It's Mother Nature at her most fierce. Any arachnophobes, look away now. Spiders are swarming to take refuge on this man's leg. Creepy. Sharks have a reputation of being the ocean's ruthless, cold-blooded killers. It's an unfair myth that we're going to rectify right here on World's Deadliest Weather. After a storm on the coast of Florida, this shark, on first glance, seems to be harassing this diver. But it transpires it's got a hook in its belly, which this guy removes. To show its gratitude, our so-called vicious predator nuzzles the diver in a sharky thank you. Saas-Fee Resort in the Swiss Alps. On a beautiful November day in 2016, Jamie Mulner and brother Jack were skiing a notorious glacier, pockmarked with lethal crevasses, some hundreds of feet deep.
There's one face, it's steep-ish, and there's a line of crevasses which run along the bottom.
Be careful and stay in the tracks.
Generally, crevasses are pretty lethal. More often than not, you're not going to come out in a good way.
Each year, around 100 skiers die in the European Alps, many swallowed up by deadly crevasses. What makes these yawning holes especially lethal is they can be hidden under a thin layer of snow.
Just stay in the tracks, yeah? So there's crevasses at the bottom.
I knew at that time that there was one channel that has no crevasses on it, so that was my aim. I was riding a bit in the tracks and then I kind of moved left a little bit to try and get some fresh snow. You start to see that, oh, there's a hole. Then I sort of realised I'm not really in the safe zone, so I start trying to turn right pretty much as hard as I can, and that made me fall, and I kind of like flipped over backwards. and I couldn't really see anything. And then I kind of was bounced off these ledges. As I knew that I was falling in there, I pretty much thought the worst. How's this gonna end? Am I gonna end up stuck, trapped? Or am I just gonna break my neck, or am I just gonna break my back, or whatever?
Jack, I'm in a crevasse.
A short distance away, Jamie's brother was watching in disbelief.
He was just coming down, and then we just saw him sort of just turn and dropped into it. There was like a split second of sort of like you don't really know what's happening, so that was probably the most worrying part of it.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm quite far down.
Miraculously, despite tumbling 60 feet, Jamie survived injury-free, but he was by no means out of danger.
I was still a little bit worried because I wasn't 100% sure if the part that I was on was completely solid or whether that was maybe a snow bridge and that could fall and then I could fall further. Crevasses, you either have V-shaped crevasses, so they get narrower as you go into them, and I think the biggest fear is to get wedged, and as you melt the ice around you with your heat, you go further down into the crevasse. So it's a pretty grim death.
Yeah, I can move. I'm in like loads of room.
Luckily the one that I went into is an A-shaped one, and I landed on the soft snow.
I don't think I'm gonna fall any further. I'm okay, I'm just, I'm gonna need quite a lot of help to get out. Loads of snow just came in, it was pretty horrible. Okay, mate. Yeah, I'll just stay still, I think.
For the next 2 hours, Jamie was forced to wait in his icy tomb for the mountain rescue service to arrive.
I think I should just hang the skis up, to be honest.
With time on his hands, he just chilled out in the Glacier Chiller.
Obviously, I wanted to be up as soon as possible. Quite sort of alone down there, there's no noise at all. It's kind of beautiful down there. It's a weird world. I was playing music from my phone, so just sort of listening to some nice music. I did have the thought of like, is this really stupid if I run my phone out of battery from listening to music and then the radio breaks? This is stupid.
It would be worrying if he was like down there and injured, and then it's like a race against time. It's cold down there and stuff. It's really just a matter of waiting for a rescue team to come.
Eventually, when they did arrive, Jamie's extraction from the bowels of the crevasse was mercifully straightforward.
All I did was lower the rope down, I clipped onto it, and then these guys just pulled me up. I got to the top, like I'm completely uninjured. Paramedic have looked at me like, okay, that doesn't happen very often. I couldn't have gone any better, really.
Thank you so much, though, guys.
Having survived his harrowing brush with death, these days, when Jamie hits the slopes, he's understandably a little less cavalier.
It's like really just try and exercise more caution now. My view of sort of skiing and taking note of where things are and just sort of riding more cautiously has definitely increased. I guess what's changed is that I really don't want to go into one again. I feel like you don't get that lucky twice.
Driving is the most hazardous occupation most of us do. Throw snow and ice into the mix, and it's Carmageddon. In wintry Montana, USA, this 18-wheeler truck goes into a death slide. And crashes down a 50-foot embankment. the truck may be totaled. But at least the windscreen wipers are still working. In Magnitogorsk, Russia, you need to have your wits about you, as a crash can come from any direction, and in the most unexpected ways. Swerving or stopping in these conditions is virtually impossible, enabling this car-turned bowling ball to score a direct strike. In the Crimea region, you would think people are fairly practiced at coping with adverse conditions. But this lot haven't fitted their winter tires, meaning even gentle inclines can set off a disastrous chain reaction. As the rubberneckers gather for a good gulp, they almost get crushed. To prove that was no fluke, another vehicle joins the party. When visibility is down to a few meters and the road's caked in a thick layer of snow, overtaking is inadvisable. And this shows why. Amazingly, everyone in these car crash clips lived to tell the tale. In this episode, we've seen Mother Nature flex her mighty muscles. We've seen how vulnerable we are. We've seen her tear down, destroy, and laugh in our faces. And next time, there will be more, because deadly weather stops for no one.